Hey everybody, how's it going? So in this video, I actually just wanted to do a follow-up on that last Instagram post that I did a few weeks back about me making a choice and wondering what choice was the best choice to make because I felt that one was considered to be on a higher path and the other one maybe on a lower vibrating path. And what's interesting is that while like this is why it's such a great lesson about life, and I am such an observant person about lessons, and I also always choose to do the lessons, that it's interesting that while I know all of this, another fundamental layer happened, which was your perception perspective, because of the way you view something, because of the way from past experiences that you choose to view something and then put that onto an experience and then decide to view it from there, and then, whatever happens. So I'm not trying to say that what you bring about from past experiences doesn't help you out in future ones, but there is a time that we're going through right now where we're not supposed to expect things to be the same as from past experiences, because we need to allow for that space of that change, because people have been changing, transforming, and so we need to allow for that change now. So point being is the choice that I thought I had to make at that time, I thought that one path was a higher spiritual path, whereas I thought the other path would be more of a, you're kind of staying on the same kind of place, or maybe going even deeper down into away from your path. But I want you to understand something about that, because when I say you're going deeper away from your path, I don't want you to think that you're not on your path, because there's two ways you can do things. Well, there's more than two, but you can do it where you are on your path, but you can also do it where you're going to go lower, and from there you can actually go high. So people can do their path, that normal pace that they think they're going to go, or you can go all over the place, and from that lowest low you can go to the highest high. So just because you go down to your lower vibrating doesn't mean you can't go to your highest vibrating. I just want that to be clear, because sometimes people can totally do that. You can go from sometimes the darkest places you've ever been to the brightest places, but sometimes the darkest into the steps up into the brightest, so there's so many. And then sometimes, you think you're going up, but you go back down before you go up, and I don't know, there's so many different experiences. Point being, that when I made my choice, I thought that I had to choose the higher spiritual path, where it was actually involving a lot of different healers of different modalities and different vibrations, but all in a place where they're coming together. And I was lending my energies to be a part of that as well, until I recognized where I was in my own healing and heart chakra, and realized that I still had a ways to go. Because actually in the last few weeks, month now maybe, I'm also learning that while I it's not that I don't feel, but it's interesting because it's only to a certain layer. When it comes to my heart chakra and feeling like relationship tightness, closeness to like someone else, in like a partnership way, like maybe in a more in-depth romantic relationship way, I think I'm pretty numb at the moment. I didn't realize actually how numb I was until I started coming out more into humanity again, and then recognizing that there's just a numbness to certain things that you would think might affect people or me. At the same time, though, I've also come out to a place where I'm way more understanding about so many things, and so now it's a fine line between, am I numb or am I just understanding? And it's both. It's kind of funny to play with, but I am numb. I'm not going to deny it. Another thing is then, so actually what happened was the choice that I made ended up being the higher spiritual path for myself. So in a way, I chose the path that I perceived to be a lower path, because I didn't choose to be around a bunch of healers in their different modalities and the energies they had to bring. I chose to go my own way into what most people might call debauchery. I chose to hang out with my friends and party, basically. I chose to just let loose and go with the flow, and it ended up being one of the best weekends of my life. It also ended up showing me a lot of things, and when I came back and learned about the two events that had happened, so me choosing to hang out and fill that side of me rather than thinking to be around other people of healing. So I don't want you to think that people shouldn't be around that, because there are, it's each to their own experience. It's just that had I gone to that, I would have given more of myself, because I would have helped more of the event. I would have given instead of taking time to fill my cup. And that's just the main difference. So basically in that, when I was thinking that one was more the higher path, it was one more of giving, not saying that I wouldn't receive as well, but because of the type of person I am, I would try to be there to give more, and I would give so much. Whereas in this part, I really just was checking with myself and, doing me. So it was really interesting. And what came out of that actually was me seeing myself way more. There was actually a lot of things that happened during that weekend that made me realize and know that I was exactly where I was meant to be. Not just that, there was a moment in time, which I will talk about soon, that actually made me feel complete in that moment. There was a while there where I was kind of in this limbo, not sure where to go, what I was doing, kind of like going with it, trusting in the divine, but also needing those affirmations and confirmations of that I am on the right path. And it's really hard, especially when you're used to constantly doing things, especially when you have a perception of how you think you need to be okay, and then letting those things go and then coming into who you are. There's so many, I would say there's constant check-ins for sure. And it's not always easy, especially when what you're doing is so against the grain, so on a path that is not much treaded. Like it's quite interesting. Point being that I've had so many confirmations during and since. I mean, we all have confirmations. It's really just, is it really enough confirmation for you? And in truth, it never seems to be at the moment. It really doesn't. As much confirmation as you can have and be like, yes, 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 there's that little seep that comes in, which is why you got to learn to deal with, learn your behaviors, deal with them in the moments, and you can only get better at it, right? That's what life's about. And then recognizing that things change and you got to do it all over again in a different way, but at the same time, everything factors in and matters, or it can also be clean slate, so whatever you wish. So all I wanted to say was that while I was going through the stresses of the choice, it ended up that the choice that I felt on paper wasn't the best choice, ended up being the best choice for me inside, and where my path is going. So we'll see. I'll talk to you guys about it as we go, but right now, between me and the people that I love, and now you, I actually am very happy with the choice that I made, even though at the time it was a harder choice to make because I felt like the other choice was a better choice for me. It ended up that the choice that I viewed as less for me was actually better for me. So I just wanted to share that with everyone so that life is interesting. So don't stress yourself out, even though we always do, but you can stress yourself out less and less as you get better at it. I haven't had a choice like that for a while because I've always, I've gotten really good at my choices and choosing what it is I wish to experience, and then also all of that. But I just hadn't been, on such a choice that was so extreme and at a moment in time where I really thought the choice would matter, which it does, the forks in the road, but at the same time, again, go by your heart and you will never be steered wrong. So I love you all, and thank you for being witness and a part of this, and for your own sharing and basically telling me to follow my heart too, which is what I always tell everyone to do. And yet it's a path that it's not an easy path to follow. So, love you all. Mm-hmm.